Hello, I'm Hedley Rees and welcome to the third video in the series 10 Things You Didn't Know About Big Pharma. Hopefully if you've seen the first two videos, they were things you didn't know. And just to recap quickly on what I've said is that this notion that medicines, drugs are developed or discovered by accident is a complete nonsense. There's a lot of evidence that until a drug is manufactured at scale, is available to treat the patient population, then it's not a drug, it doesn't exist. And the attrition rates that we see today, i.e. these are US Government Accountability Office official figures from 2006, but they have been ratified in 2012 and even later. For every 250 development product candidates that go into the pipeline, only 5 make it to clinical trials. So that's 245 drugs, compounds, call it what you will, that have had masses of animal testing and other form of testing, people putting in hours and hours of work. That's all to no avail. Huge waste of money, and that's the preclinical stage. The clinical stage, for every 5 that enter the clinic, only 1 gets to market, so that 4 out of every 5 clinical trials fail. In the last 15 years, 30 drugs have failed in Alzheimer's. Initially, the theory was that amyloid beta or beta amyloid was wrapping itself around fibers in the brain, and more recently a theory around a protein called tau doing a similar thing, but none of those theories have worked out. And the bare fact is that it is physically impossible to predict what any drug is going to do to the body. It's such a vastly complicated biological set of activities that until you actually have really deep proof and evidence that the drug is available and can be made available to patients, then it doesn't exist. So we scotched that notion in a sense that sort of puts the whole idea of patented molecules early on in the development process, well, I say early on, absolutely at the start, which doesn't make any sense at all. But there lies the route to improvement. And as I said previously, if you look at the pre-blockbuster era, only processes were patented. People had to put in the hard yards work, committed people, dedicated people, to get a patent, and it had to be for the manufacturing process. These days, you can patent the molecule so long as you've got enough money to do that. So, when I'm going to talk about improvement, which I promised in the last video, I'm going to talk about going back 40 or 50 years to where things used to be, to vertical integration, where companies had skin in the game, where companies, the pharma companies, controlled the whole supply chain from start to finish, and where patients were the focus. So I'm going to talk in the next video about the route to improvement, and it will be around, first of all, not engaging with patents and molecules, compounds, but engaging with healthcare professionals, the people who use the medicines to treat their patients, and engaging with patient groups as well, who understand very well the disease state that they are involved with. Engaging with them at the start. It may be that a medicine isn't even relevant, prevention or whatever is the best option. And that diagnosis is the key. The link between diagnosis and therapy is absolute. And very few pharma companies are actually trying to join up diagnosis and therapy together. And then we'll be talking about engaging stakeholders like we discussed with penicillin, including the chemists who can identify the active ingredient, including the people who make the drug product, including the experts in manufacture, commercial manufacture, suppliers, procurement people, at the start assuming that it is going to be a successful project, not a failure. So I'm going to finish this video by basically saying the last 40 years, 40 or so years, the industry's gone backwards significantly. There is a route forward, but some very significant things have to be done, particularly by politicians, to allow that to happen. So I hope that sort of got you excited about the next video, because I'll be going into some of the principles from other industry sectors that can be applied in pharmaceuticals if the mindset is right. So anyway, speak to you soon. Thanks. Bye.